Good afternoon. This afternoon we travelled up to the northwest to Blackpool, and sunny Blackpool may I add, to talk to Margaret Marsh and Sue Roberts. Good afternoon, ladies.
Afternoon,
Good
Terry.
afternoon.
It's lovely to be here. Can I start with you first, Margaret?
Yeah?
Can you tell me, have you always had dogs in your life?
No,
No.
no.
Not as a child?
I was never allowed
Were you
one.
never allowed one?
No.
Can I ask you? If I don't answer this, so I've got a picture in my head of you. It's like some 5-year-old child with tangled hair, one sock up and one sock down, stark white sandals, I remember them red sandals, and coming home from school with some scabby little mongrel and saying to your parents, it's followed me home. Is this correct?
No,
Is it not like that at all?
no, we've always had dogs.
You've always had dogs.
Always had dogs.
So there weren't little mongrels that you brought
No,
out
no. German Shepherds and Rough Collies.
as a child.
Yes,
So that's where you got your dogs.
yeah.
So when did you have your first dog then, Margaret? When you were married?
Yes. Yes.
And was it a Lhasa Apso? Was it your first?
No, it was
it
not
not?
a mongrel. Because I was desperate for a dog.
Because your parents didn't let you have one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you first get your Lhasa Apso, first Lhasa Apso? Roughly.
I can't quite remember.
It's a while back, isn't it?
It's quite a while.
Was
Yeah.
it not Henchman? Was that your first
Yes,
Lhasa?
which was, no, it was the first show,
Show Lhasa.
prospective
Show.
show.
Yeah, we've always had that one before we got
Yes,
the show. Yeah, we've
yes.
always
That was 82, wasn't it?
So-
1982.
a couple of years ago, shall we say?
If you really want to.
No, we'll stick with a couple of years ago, shall
Edit that.
we? When did you first get yours, Sue?
1980.
Was this a Lhasa?
First Lhasa,
First
yes. But my first dog, which was my dog, was a lurcher called
it?
Marble.
Oh, of course, of course. So is this where your prefix came from then?
Yeah, and she fostered the Lhasa,
Did she?
yeah, which was Saxon Springs Harvey.
So why Marble Dale then? Obviously Marble after the dog.
Yeah, Marble after the dog, and because we lived in the Yorkshire Dales.
Excellent.
So that was nice and easy, one to pick.
And yours is Kenworth.
Yeah.
How did you arrive at Kenworth?
Right. Well, in the days, which I'm sure you'll remember, you had to choose 3
That was
names.
great, yeah.
And I chose 2, which I thought were very nice. And then the third one, I couldn't think. So, as a silly little joke, I used to call Ken, "Come on, Kenworth." That's how I got my
So it's
six,
stuck.
because it's the only one they allowed me.
Yeah, it's
The one I didn't really want.
well, it's a way, that's how it goes though, isn't it? Was yours the first one you got?
I'm not sure, can't
Yeah.
remember.
You can't remember.
No,
Time, time goes by.
I think probably because I've always thought it was quite nice, the fact it was named, Marble was there,
Yeah.
and she reared me first
It's
Lhasa.
appropriate though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Appropriate. So, Margaret, what made you want this breed?
Well, we moved south into Essex, and I was passing a large house, and in a large garden were some Lhasa Apso puppies running around, and that was it. I was smitten.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
So did you buy one of those?
No,
No.
couldn't afford.
So where did your first one come from then? Where did you first
A
Apso?
person called Anne Ledicott, who lived in Heysham, and she was friendly with Ken Warrington.
Oh, small world.
I've only just remembered that.
Small world, isn't it?
Yeah.
So was that a dog or a bitch?
It was a bitch. I thought I'd got something wonderful.
as we all do.
Yes. But then I haven't.
No. But you learnt. You learnt.
A lot.
You probably learn more from that first one, don't you?
I
And
did.
you tend to learn, I feel, more what not to do with them
Yeah.
than what to do with them.
Yeah.
Especially as far as grooming. I think it's fortunate that those first ones we tend to end up being pets,
Yeah.
because we end up making so many mistakes with them, don't we?
Absolutely.
Certainly do. And your first one, so
Harvey, Saxon Springs Harvey, which was the one. It was the runt of a litter, destined to just die really.
So were you working for Jean Blythe
Yeah,
this time then?
yeah. So I asked if I could take it and try and hand rear it, and after about a week, Marble came into milk, and she reared it.
That was amazing.
So
isn't
yeah, it was.
Amazing
I
coincidence
know.
that.
So yeah, Marble reared Harvey, and that was my first one. And that was a Hackensack son.
So obviously, I would say obviously, but not necessarily, your love for the Apsos is from working from the Saxon Springs kennels.
Yeah,
then.
never even seen the Lhasa before then.
Do you know?
No, and all the ones what were shaved off I thought were puppies.
Oh,
When
my
I first
God.
went.
Yeah, you do, don't
Yeah,
you?
just I never even heard of the breed.
So how did that come around then? You just applied for a job?
Applied for a job to work part-time in a cattery, and then when I went for an interview she asked if I wanted to have a full-time job and if I wanted to live in, and it was great because there was a field I could put my horse in as well, so it was everything I wanted.
Why not? Why
Yeah.
would you not? How long were you there for them?
I think about 12 years.
I'm going to say you were
altogether.
there a while.
Yeah,
weren't you?
about 12 years I think it was, until
So-
she moved to Suffolk.
Yeah, yeah. So do you feel that all your background experience came from the Saxon Springs?
Oh yeah,
kennels?
most definitely.
It's got
Yeah.
to be a wealth of knowledge
Yeah.
there, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, when I first went, she still had the Bassets and the Westies, and still a lot of the old English lines as well. And then it was just the start of bringing Intrepid in and all the Intrepid offspring.
So did Intrepid come in while you were still there?
Yeah,
So you had all the excitement of all
yeah,
the new lines coming in?
yeah, it's great.
Amazing, isn't it? Amazing times. Over the years, Margaret, shall we say, over the years, what's the best litter you've ever bred? Can you remember?
Yeah.
And that, he said that with no hesitation. I had to think about that. Go on and tell me about it then. The best
Yeah.
litter.
It was a Cascade Teasel bitch, and then I took that bitch back to Hackensack, which produced my first champion, Kenwood Swisher.
Good grief.
And the reason it's got Wisher as a name, I was into watching Indian films, and there was a lot of names that I gave them Kenwood's good names. Seems a bit stupid now. you
No,
do
it
that.
doesn't. It's amazing you can remember all that. Remember as clear as anything all that, even why you called her. That's amazing now. So,
Yeah.
what colour was she? Was she gold? Was she a gold?
Golden white.
Gold and white?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, she was really the
Foundation bitch?
yeah, thank you. Yeah. She was.
And everything after that came from those lines?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I was so intent by this time in getting everything right that I used to get the books and I used to get Ken's geometry set out and measure all the angles lying on the floor in the hope that I was getting it all right. That's how keen I was to try and get it right.
I think some people still do, but you know now, older and wiser, it's not that easy, is it?
No.
No matter what you try to
No.
do, it always goes wrong.
You've just got to try.
You've just got to suck it and see, haven't you, sometimes? Yeah. What was your most notable glitter?
I'm not sure. I really don't know, to be honest. I've had so many litters which I've liked.
You've had which you
liked.
You've never had any that's been outstanding. What about your first litter? I think sometimes your first litter is so important.
Not necessarily, because I think I tend to look at the wider picture of, you know, when I've got that litter, what they're then going to produce. You know, where am I going to go next? And
so you look at them puppies and you look at the next generation and where you're going.
Yeah.
So it's like a future planning all the way around.
It's always an ongoing plan.
Well, it's
how all them bloodlines are all going to tie in together in the future.
Yeah, sensible thing.
Yeah.
Clever lady. Now this is good. Now you're both going to have to think about this one. When did you start judging?
I'm sorry, I can't answer that one. I really can't remember.
What about the first time you judged?
Obviously, it was at an open show.
Yeah.
But I can't remember where or when.
Very exciting though, wasn't it? When you
Very, and frightening because you so want to get it right.
Yeah. And in those days as well, in the open shows, you got good entries, didn't you?
Yeah, very good entries, yeah.
In fact, some of the open shows going years back was as good as the championship shows we get these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my first one, very frightening and exciting.
Yeah,
Lovely,
exactly.
What about you, Sue?
Yeah, I can remember my first one. I can remember I got a puncture on the way there.
Nothing ever goes straight with you, is it?
Puncture on the way there, and then on top of that, it was when the clocks either went back or forward. I can't remember, and I didn't realise, and I thought I was an hour late, and actually I wasn't. I was an hour early.
Fortunately.
Yeah, fortunately after having the puncture.
Yeah.
And I can remember it was, I'm not sure if it was Preston Society, but I can remember Margaret was there with Sally, and I think you got Risha, and I believe you got best of breed that day, and best puppy was a Hackensack daughter, a lady from Barrow.
Sue Mitchell.
No, is that what she, yeah, Sue Mitchell. What's it called? Saxon Springs.
She was Harvey's. She's a sister, wasn't she?
Same breeding, but a later litter.
Yeah.
Was it Udsview or Affix?
Sorry?
Udsview, I think the lady's Affix was. Saxon Springs.
Can't quite remember.
Hetta. Is it Hetta?
Hetta.
Grey and white.
Yeah.
Grey and white.
Yeah.
Hetta. Saxon Springs Hetta was best puppy.
Yeah.
And I think she went best puppy in show that day.
Well, I think that gives you the best prize for the best member.
She did a hell of a lot of winning.
Hetta.
Yeah.
I remember she did do a lot of winning.
Yeah.
How do you feel the breed today is compared with the past?
Who are you talking to?
Both of you ladies.
Right. Well, if I can... Do you want to clap? The thing is, because I've not been around for a bit, I find it's a bit difficult to be able to answer that question.
But even from the years you were in it, do you think it got better, got worse? Did we progress? You know, I thought, Margaret, when they asked me this question.
You know, I think generally... Sorry.
You know what I thought when they asked me this question?
Yeah.
I thought personally the breed in some respects had changed tremendously because of the presentation. We never had presentation, did we, like
No.
this?
That's perfect.
We never had coats.
No.
We never had all the shampoos and sprays, and we had a brush and a comb, didn't we?
That's
and
true.
And a spray bottle of water.
Yeah.
And on the whites we used to chalk it or put starch on it.
Yeah.
So I feel that presentation-wise, it's come a long.
It has.
Yeah.
I do feel that there are a lot of people coming into the breed that are breeding and don't know enough about breeding to be breeding.
True. I think that's always been like that. We'll always
It
have
has.
them.
It has, yeah.
And the thing that disappoints me, they never ask anybody.
That's right.
Or they always ask what I class as the wrong people to ask in the first place.
I'd ask anybody to
Yeah.
try and get the knowledge.
But we used to be more open. We used to talk to each other. We used to talk to people.
Yes, we did.
But we don't seem, like at shows,
Yeah.
we used to stay behind, you remember?
Yeah, I do.
After the judging, the judge used to come round, used to talk to us.
Yeah.
We used to talk to each other. We used to discuss people's breeds and what puppies we got and what
Yeah.
we were doing. Everything these days seems to be a secret, doesn't it? Nobody seems to want to tell anybody anything.
No, and this is the bit where I miss out because I'm not around
Yeah.
enough to be able to say.
But I think you've got a lot of knowledge that way. I think if you went over the breeders now, you would notice a difference. What do you think, Sue?
Well, yeah, I do think it's changed. When I think of the early days at Saxon Springs to what the dogs are like now, they're definitely, the dogs now, they haven't got the substance they had. They were, although they was probably smaller, they were chunky, they were heavy.
And
I had to
sturdy.
pick them dogs up every day out of the kennels to put them into the runs. They were heavy little dogs. But yeah, presentation's fantastic these days. Too much, I think. Too much coat on a lot of them. A lot of the coats are soft now.
Do you think a lot of people spend more time on presentation than substance?
Oh, definitely. And I think a lot of people can't see past that. You know, I think a lot of the judges are just judging the one with the best coat. Best mouth, best coat. They're not looking what's underneath.
Which is a shame.
Yeah, and I mean the coat texture on some of them is shocking. You know, gone. There's very few with that harsh coat.
I don't think you see that much at all these days.
No, I'd say only a handful.
Yeah.
Handful, that's
Yeah.
all. But I think a lot of that is people are over bathing.
I was going to say, do you think it's what everybody uses these days?
Definitely. Yeah.
With all the conditions and shampoos
Yeah.
and sprays and potions we put on, it's going to soften. It is going to
Yeah.
soften the coat.
It's
isn't
bound to.
It? It's
Yeah,
got
it
to,
does.
hasn't it?
Of course.
You know, with your own hair, don't
I was
you?
just going to
Yeah.
say that, yeah,
Yeah.
with our own hair.
Yeah. I remember when the first ones we used to have a white one, and we used to put robin starch on it.
Mm.
We used to do
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Robin starch. Can you imagine doing that these days?
I know.
We used to get a box and rub it on and rub it in, then brush it out. And that was the only preparation we used to use.
And I think also a lot of people, they're not planning ahead. They're just planning that one litter. They're not
That's
planning,
right, yeah.
not planning where they're going to go from that litter. You know, they're just either using the dog what's in favour or a local dog or the cheapest dog. They're just not.
The
they're
one
not.
with the nicest coat that they
Yeah,
think
they're
is the
just not.
nicest
They're
coat.
not planning for what they're going to do. You know, 2 generations later.
Yeah, I must admit, I think that sometimes you look in the catalogue at the ring and you go, don't think I'd have put that to that, and things like that. I think a lot of it has always been like that.
Yeah, probably. so.
The top winning one.
Yeah.
People go to the top winning dog 9 times out of 10, whether it fits the lines,
Yeah.
and I don't think they look at breed lines much these
No,
days,
no, I don't.
which is a shame.
I'm always looking at mine and seeing where this will tie in with that, and
Yes,
bringing a
that's-
line back in which I had years and years ago, trying to bring that back to the fore. You know, if it was obviously something I liked, you know, and I think, well, yeah, we're missing that. need to bring that back in because that line excelled in that point.
Yeah. I remember people used to advertise, I can remember somebody advertising one of the dog ones and the quote, stud dog for stud, excels in good mouths and good fronts.
Yeah.
You never see that these days. You
No,
don't.
you don't.
You don't, do you? You don't say, you used to go to a dog because you knew that it was going to produce you good
Yeah,
mouths
yeah.
or good fronts. I
Yeah.
think we just go, a lot of people these days just go to a dog because they think it's going to produce the full package
Yeah.
straight away.
Yeah.
They don't realise you have to build, it's something you have to build on over the years.
Yeah, over the generations, yeah.
I know, I mean, Ken never used to be in the ring at all, but would sit for hours studying pedigrees.
Oh, I think it's a must. I think it's a must. It's like a catalogue at dog shows. People don't buy a catalogue because they cost £8. To me, I can get a week's reading out of a catalogue.
Yeah.
And put who's put what to what and who's
Yeah.
done this and what's produced that. And also, one of my favourites is, nobody watches these days.
Yeah.
Nobody sits at the side of the
I
ring.
noticed that before I stopped judging. Yeah.
Well, I've got to the stage now where I tend 9 times out of 10 I'm sat on my own. And that's where I think that people are falling down. They aren't looking what's
Yeah.
producing what and different lines. At one bit you could tell, remember I'm going back in the olden days, Margaret. Do you remember you used to sit at the side of the ring in the puppy classes and you used to say, oh, I bet that's a so-and-so and I bet that's by so.
Yeah.
You could tell that puppies...
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think you still can. Some dogs.
Yeah,
in
you
the
can.
ring, you
I
still
agree.
can.
I agree with you, but not as constant
Not-
as
yeah.
constant
But
as that.
sometimes you can because of the wrong reason and not for the right reason
Yeah,
these days.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So the breed standard, then. Do you think, as a breed, we stick into the breed standard? We keep into the breed standard?
I would think somebody coming into the breed, you read that breed standard. If you were an alien and you came and they said, right, draw me a picture of what this dog should look like, you wouldn't have a clue.
You wouldn't know where to start.
Not a clue. So I think the breed standard lets us down as breeders in a big way.
Why? Because it's too open in places.
Yeah.
Too,
You know,
too ambiguous.
moderate, you know. What's
But
moderate?
it does say
Approximately.
sturdy.
Yeah.
A
Well-
sturdy
Still
dog.
says sturdy.
So many bitches are so fine.
Yeah.
So,
No substance.
no, that's one of my little bugbears. That substance.
Really?
Nobody shall-like, just feel like could squeeze them. So yeah, you are right. That
I mean, I do think some of the things they took out, like it did used to say cobby. You
Yeah.
know. Now, to me, a cob is something with plenty of bone. Something which, if you think of a cob horse, you know, it can go across any ground, any surface, you know, up a
Yeah,
fell,
it can, yeah.
you know.
But cobby isn't really a word that the younger people would relate to at all, would they, these days?
Probably not. They
It's
don't
like-
relate to
it's
sturdy
very-
though, do
No,
they?
You see, if it says sound, if you put sound in, it's very, in his opinion,
Yeah.
what sound?
Yeah.
Sound.
It's too open.
It's too much open. So do you think we've added to the breed standard at all? Do you think we've developed the breed standard? As a breed, this is.
What was that? Sorry.
Do you think, as a breed, Margaret, do you think we've made it better, the breed?
I don't know. I can't say. I haven't seen them for quite a long time. I've not had my hands on them.
I think we need to get you to a dog show, Margaret.
I think probably not made them better as a dog, but as a show dog,
Yeah.
I think we've made them better. I think a Lhasa can hold its own in a ring against other breeds now, where 40 years ago, I don't think a Lhasa could be winning groups.
No.
And that, a lot of that is because of the code.
Yeah.
Codes and movement.
Yeah.
Codes and movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree there with you. So I think we are producing these days a show dog.
Show
Yeah.
dogs.
A show
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the
It
word
is a
show,
It's a
it's
show.
got to be,
Yeah.
it's got to show, hasn't it? It's got to be able to move.
Yeah.
It's just how far down the line do we go?
I mean, the other thing, I think, the trouble with us getting them too shelly is a lot to do with the European dogs being in what is the toy group, Group 9. You're in with the toys. So, you know, people are judging them as a toy breed
Yeah,
and not as a utility breed like they do
Yeah.
over here.
yeah.
So I think that's a
Yeah. Yeah.
that's bad in that aspect.
So when you're judging, what's your most unforgivable fault? Have you got one that you think, I just can't get past that? Or am I listening to what you're saying already about it?
I suppose temperament really. If it's got a bad temperament,
Oh yeah, it does.
that goes without saying, doesn't it? What good's a dog with a bad temperament to anybody, whether it's a pet person or a show person?
What about other faults? Are you a mouth person?
No, not particularly. No,
You just a dog as a whole.
as a whole.
You know,
Yeah.
not that I think I could never.
I do like them to have a good rib. You know, I do still think, well, unless it's got a good rib, it's not got room for lungs and heart. You know,
I couldn't
it
bear a
has to
short
go
rib.
up.
No.
It would have to get a nice, long, well-sprung rib.
I think you have to somewhere along the line think, could it do what it was meant
Yes,
for?
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How Tibetan is this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think, would you survive on top of a mountain? You know, when you're talking
Yeah.
about the very finer ones and the shell-like, to say they came from a country with very extreme climates, I'm sure a lot of those would never survive.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. Because they need the lung capacity.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
And so many of them are so fine, they can't possibly have a lung capacity there.
They haven't got that rib cage, have they? No.
And again with the coat,
They
that
haven't.
soft coat, you couldn't,
Oh, no, they wouldn't.
you know,
No.
they couldn't survive, couldn't they? They couldn't be in Tibet with a soft coat.
Yeah, because a lot of those with the soft coats, I've got really soft undercoats as well, and some are really, really soft. Moving on then to one of the new, well, new probably old, all-round judges. Now that we seem to be getting over more than 50% all-round judges these days, and as the judging seems to be going, we seem to be getting more and more all-round judges. Do you think this is good for the breed or bad for the breed, or
Who are you talking to?
whichever you like?
I
No,
don't think it's good.
no, I don't. I think with too many all-rounders.
Yes.
But then your breed people have got to be knowledgeable in your breed. And it's not good having breed people judging your breed if they're not knowledgeable enough.
So you're saying that you feel the all-rounders are more knowledgeable than the breed?
No, I'm saying that a breed person still has to have the knowledge of construction. You know, an all-rounder might have a better knowledge of the construction of a dog than a breed person.
Do you feel it's not good for the breed then, Margaret, you say?
I think there should be less all-rounders because I don't think they know enough about the finer points of the Apso. It's a case of, with so many of them, flashy mover, flashy coat, and that's it. And a lot of them now. Because they judge so many breeds, how could they possibly know the finer points of every breed that they
Impossible.
judge? They can't.
Impossible.
So
this one,
yes, I agree with having
Sorry.
some, but not as many as they're getting.
So this one's really for you. So what do you think of the new judging scheme that's coming?
Which one's, sorry,
The new,
which new one?
the new council one, where they want everybody to have mentors and the judges to be.
Well, I think this can't be any worse than the one we've got. Because the one we've got just seems to be stopping judges coming through. So it did need to change. And yeah, I do think they need a mentor. But it's no good having just one mentor which is only interested in their type and their bloodlines. You know, you've got to have a mentor which is knowledgeable enough to know, you know, we still have different types of Lhasas. That's not to say one's better than the other. So, you know, a mentor is good. And I do think the trouble with the system we've got at the moment, where you've got to judge so many dogs at an open show, unfortunately a lot of them dogs at an open show are not good dogs. You're constantly judging inferior stock, so how can you learn, you know, by just going over inferior dogs?
And you don't get the numbers either.
No, they're judging 3 or 4 dogs at a show, you know, and 2 of them, 3 of them may be terrible.
Do you think the breed clubs help bring new or judges through? Do you think they're doing enough?
No, I don't. Not at all. No, I don't. I think a part of it is as you said earlier, people do not want to stand round the ring, look at the dogs. People do not invite. Exhibitors don't tend to invite other exhibitors to go over the dogs these days.
No, you never see that now.
I mean, I often say to people, if somebody says, oh, he's nice, you know, I'm always saying, have a look at him, you know, go over him, see what you think. If there's something you're not sure about, you know.
What do you think the clubs could do then?
Oh, I don't know.
Personally, this is just my personal opinion, I feel the clubs restrict the new people coming through. They make it so difficult, and they don't help them. They don't seem to go out to me and encourage them. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
No, I don't. I mean, I do think the trouble is, however the clubs do it, there'll always be somebody who doesn't agree with what they're doing.
Always.
You know, so you know, it is difficult that way. But I think it's more down to each and every exhibitor we should be more open with our dogs at a show and invite other people to come and look at the dogs, you know, and go over them. I mean, unless you're judging yourself, you don't get to go over other people's dogs.
No, you don't.
You know, so how does somebody who's wanting to judge learn?
So, why do you think the numbers are dropping so dramatically at championship shows?
The cost, I think. You know, one time people would enter 3-4 Lhasas. I think that's got a big factor. And also, I think a lot of people think the judging's unfair at some of the shows. They feel they know who's going to win beforehand. So, you know, why would you spend your money to go?
So do you feel that people are getting more selective where they go?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Instead of going to each and every show, they're just picking the ones where they think they're going to be fair.
Yeah, I think if they think they feel the judge will, you know, judge the dogs instead of judging, you know, the people or the pedigrees or the, you know, the lines as such, they'll give them a go.
I do think the cost as well, as you were saying.
Yeah.
The cost these days is tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, you try entering 3 dogs at a show, you know, you're £100 before you even get in the car.
And then you've got another £50 in bread for the time you've got there.
Yeah, and also, you know, what do you get at the end of the day?
A piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
You go to an exemption show down your road.
Yeah.
Pay £1.
Yeah.
And get a rosette as big as a dinner plate.
Yeah. And loads of doggy goodies.
And have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why would you pay all that money for a piece of cardboard if you're lucky?
I know, I tried to explain to my brothers what I get from dog showing, and they just look at me going, now.
I know.
Anybody who doesn't show dogs cannot relate to why.
I know. I mean, and I see people's photos, you know, done so well at such and such a show, you know, and the photo of his piece of cardboard, and I think, that's just cost you like £100.
Are we mad?
Yeah, no,
Are we mad?
totally.
Totally. In the years, over the years, who do you think was your all-time best judge? Best judge ever?
Best judge.
Anybody in the breed,
Yes,
out of the
yes,
breed?
immediately somebody springs to mind. Bobby James.
Amazing. And why is that?
Because he was fair, he knew what he was doing. I've studied that man.
You do watch people, don't you?
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
watch them, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
You do watch how people are judging. Besides the dog, you watch the judges, how the
Yes.
judges are judging.
exactly. And his he was so fair
And you could see what he
and
was doing.
knowledgeable, yeah.
And you could see where he was
Yeah,
going.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sometimes it's when you don't know what they're doing,
Yes.
you get very confused.
So he's always, throughout the years, been my favourite judge.
So he gets your vote. He gets your vote.
But,
He gets your vote.
yeah.
Yes.
Don't really know that. I have got a best judge. I think
I mean, over the
there's
years,
several judges
they may no longer be with us.
yeah, no, several judges who are looking, I like their opinion, you know, I think, yeah, you know, and I can see where they're going and why, but no, I don't think I've really got a best judge. Sorry.
Not at all. Not even me. Well, I'm gutted.
A certain Terry Poole did a very good job recently at the show.
Have you ever judged abroad?
Yeah.
Where?
Denmark, Australia, America, Canada.
Yes, you have judged abroad then.
Yeah.
Have you judged abroad at all, Margaret?
Yeah.
Where have you judged?
Denmark and oh my god, I can't think of the name of the country. Delete that.
We'll come back to that one.
Belgium.
Belgium, you see.
Shall we do it again?
It comes eventually. No, leave it. It's lovely like that. Belgium. Lovely chocolate. Have you shown abroad?
Yeah. I've shown in America and I've shown in Canada.
Have you?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Have you, Margaret? Where you were shown?
I showed in America.
Have you?
Yeah. Yes.
Amazing. When was that?
I'm going to work out when it was.
A long time ago.
1997, I think it was.
So going on, this runs up for that. What's your most memorable time judging, showing, just going to a dog show? Do you remember when we used to have fun?
I know. What was my favourite show?
Go on then.
Three Counties.
I was going to say, you remember things so clearly, you. You remember these things so clearly. Why? What happened at Three Counties?
It was just a wonderful show. The hospitality was wonderful. Had a lovely entry. The hotel was lovely. Everything about the whole thing had a really good entry. Had some good dogs, and the whole thing was just stuck in my mind.
And the weather was lovely.
And it was a beautiful
That
day.
makes all the difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And the sun shone. We had a nice time and the sun shone.
Yes.
Lovely.
Mine, I think, well, it's got to be when Hackensack won Best in Show, 1984. Not only was it just so nice, you know, for Hackensack, but That was my first Crufts with my own dog, Saxon Springs Glint of Gold.
Yes, I remember.
And she won first as well.
Did
So
she? I remember.
yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Is that your first one then? Or the first one you had at Crufts?
no, first one for my first time showing at Crufts. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember Glintigar.
yeah,
Little gold bit, wasn't it?
yeah. And everything what came after that, you know, the nightmare to get home because I had to leave Jean down there with the dog. I then had to get the car, her car, and the rest of the dogs back home. And oh, it was a terrible journey. It was so foggy. Couldn't see where you were going.
Were you on your own?
That was your experience, and mine
Yeah.
was of being locked in LKA because of the snow. Do you remember that?
When it snowed, yes. And the M1 was a single track because of the snow.
Yes.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. Oh,
I was locked in for the night.
yes. Why did we go? Why did we go? It was snowing when we went.
I don't know. I thought, well, we're so far. Do we turn back? It was equidistant, I think.
But
If
you
we
think,
turned back, it would have been as bad almost as going forward.
I remember that, and I don't know why, but thought, did we think the sun were going to come out in the afternoon and it were all going to disappear? Horrendous. And that was
That was Terry Thorne judging.
Yeah.
Only that was another of the favourite judges, Terry Thorne.
That's funny. 2 all-rounders you picked,
Yeah.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. We're not saying the all-rounders are. I just feel that we just need some new, good breed judges, and I just don't know where they're going to come from.
Well, I
Well,
think
it-
they're out there. They're just not getting past. They're just not getting through the system. I do think there's many out there which should be judging the
Yeah.
breed.
Yeah, but there is people now coming through the system that shouldn't be coming through the
Well,
system.
because I
just
think a
don't- I
lot
just-
of them are because they already judge CCs in another breed, so
Yeah,
they find it easier to get through to judge
I'm
us.
sure. It is. Alright ladies, we're getting near the end now. Oh yeah, that'd be interesting. Do you think the breed is stronger or weaker abroad?
Me, big parts of Europe, it's quite strong. But no, I think in general we're stronger in the UK. Because we're stronger numerically as well. We've got, you know,
Yeah.
we've got a bigger gene pool and, you know, more exhibitors.
Do you think the imports that come in help the breed?
I think some have, yeah, definitely.
I think you just
but
have
a lot of them what have come in, you're only bringing lines back in what we've had anyhow.
Yeah, I just
So-
think you have to be careful, like you said earlier. You just have to be careful where you use these
Yeah.
lines. Over the years, probably not particularly what you bred or what you bred, it doesn't matter, live or deceased. What are your top dogs, your all-time favourite dogs? Shall we ask you first, Margaret?
The top dog of
All time.
all time.
The dog that you've seen and made your heart go, oh, I've got to have that, that's stunning.
Yes, I think I have. And I think it's quite simple actually. I don't know whether you agree with me. I think Fresno.
She was stunning.
Yeah.
I said Fresno. I said Fresno.
Did you?
Yeah. You've got to really, I suppose, in a way, haven't you? Was there any others that you've had that were your favourite, that sticks out in your mind?
There's loads that I have. But
Is
it's
there?
been wonderful.
That's nice though, isn't it?
Joke!
What about your Sally?
Sally, yes. Yeah.
So
I'll never forget her.
So tell me about Sally. Which is Sally?
Well, obviously I'd read her, so I had her as a young puppy. And in her whole show life, she always knew what I wanted her to do. I didn't have to force her to do anything.
She could
Let's
have done
say
it. She could have done it on her own.
Did it, yes. Tail never dropped. she showed her heart out, and she did a lot of winning, but if she didn't do the winning, she still showed. She didn't care.
A proper show dog.
A proper show dog, yes.
And Sue?
Well, my favourites would be, but I'm looking at it through a breeder rather than a show person, would be Saxon Springs Alamo.
Alamo?
Yeah, because I would love to have him now to put back into a breeding program.
You could use him now,
I
could
could
you?
do with that. I could do with that dog now. Yeah. And the other one I really liked was Anna Capelli of Saxon Springs.
I remember.
She was such a sound, little sturdy dog. Oh, the coat on her was lovely. Really liked her. Again, I could do with her back in the breeding program.
Was she not like a black and tan?
Black and tan, yeah.
That's a beauty box line.
Yeah.
That's a
But
beauty
what's
box
down
line.
from her?
What did she? She was the mother of Saxon Springs Beverly. And I'm not sure, Chusquan, I think. She was the mother
Yeah.
of Chusquan.
I think she
Oh,
was.
just gone, yeah.
I think she was that kind of bitch that was like the last of the older lines that
Yeah,
Jean
but she did
had.
have some American blood in her.
Did it?
Yeah, she
from
did
that
have-
beauty box line.
She did have some American
And then
blood.
from then on,
Yeah,
because she was quite an old-fashioned
Yeah.
little bitch, wasn't
Yeah.
she? I remember. Lovely balance though.
yeah, she was a lovely balance, yeah. There's a lot
She
of
was
them
in a
old,
lot of Jean's pedigrees, wasn't she?
a lot of them older dogs I'd love to have now. I really would. I'd love to see them now to compare to what we've got now in the ring.
Wouldn't that be?
What
I'd
do you
the-
carry
love-
forward in your
Yeah.
mind?
I'd love to have them now and judge them against the dogs that are in the ring.
Yeah.
You know, to see whether it'd be, you know, think, wow, they're still hold up against what we've got now, or
Well, that
would
would
I
be
be
interesting as
disappointed?
well. So that'd be like a judge on us as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
To see what,
Yeah.
we, as custodians, what we've done
Yeah.
with the breed.
I mean,
Yeah.
temperament-wise, I think I could never beat a Hurricane. Won my Hurricane, Marbledale, Hurricane. Is it called Hurricane? Higgins, sorry, yeah.
Higgins.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
just,
yeah.
but just the temperament was great.
He was one of your all-time,
Yeah.
though, weren't he?
Yeah. I mean, he'll have his faults like any show dogs, but temperament, you just could never.
He just went into
Oh,
Yeah.
he was a joker. He was just so funny. He really was. And he had a fantastic coat texture again. The texture was for a party colour was lovely. Really
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, we don't get that no more. And finally, I know you'll be very disappointed, ladies. This is the last question. So this applies to both of you. Can the breed get any better? And do you think we're in a good place at the moment?
Again, I'm afraid I'm going to have to answer the same.
Can you not answer that from the outside looking in?
Well, no, because I haven't been over a dog for years.
Right. I
Well,
think
what
the
about
answer.
dogs?
I think the answer to that question then is Margaret. I think it is down to Sue Roberts to take you to Blackpool show. I will look after you, and Eamon will look after you, and Sue will take you. And then you can answer me that question.
Can the breed get any better?
Or do you think it's in the good place where it is?
No, of course it can get better. Everything can improve. I think we're going downwards rather than upwards personally in construction. Yeah, I don't think we're getting better. I feel we're going down.
So you feel there's plenty of scope there to improve
Yeah,
the breed?
mostly is, yeah. But then that's showing dogs, isn't it? You're
Yeah.
always
You're never
trying to
gonna-
improve
You're never going
what
to get
you've
perfection.
what you've got.
Mm.
I just think too many people have concentrated on improving just certain points and let the others slip, you know. I think people have gone mad about coats, you know, and the construction's gone out of the window.
Yeah.
There's just one little thing which I may be able to add. I have seen a few bitches fairly recently, and to me, they've been too fine.
Yes,
Just too fine.
they are. I find them too.
Yeah, yes. And after being brood bitches, there doesn't seem the lung capacity there for them to have a good litter.
No. No.
That's just my little bit. The few bitches as I have been over and have seen, that's what I think.
Oh, that's
We
cool.
want more like
That's quite correct,
that.
isn't it?
I've got
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. No, that's got body, hasn't it? Body and substance.
Yes. Lovely
Well-
long rib.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, it's been a lovely afternoon. We've had a few laughs. It's
At
been-
my expense.
Not necessarily at my expense as well, probably. I thoroughly enjoyed my little songs. Thank you very much for having us both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can